It is extremely hot in here, so hopefully you can hear me over the fan that's going, because if not, I will die of heat stroke. I'll just turn up the volume in post. Hey babes, it's Lilith. Welcome back to my channel. I'm sorry that I haven't been here in a hot minute. I really did mean to start posting regularly, but then I started having a lot of technology problems as far as getting my videos from my phone that I film on onto my laptop, and everything decided to blow up at once. So I've been having a lot of technological issues. And I'm in the middle of fixing them, and I hope that I have actually fixed them. When I go to upload this video, that will tell me if that issue has been resolved or not. Hopefully it has, because I have a laundry list of videos that I have been meaning to make and post for you guys. So much has happened since I uploaded my last video, like over a month, almost 2 months ago. I don't know how long ago it was, and I don't know when it's gonna get posted. But so much has changed since I uploaded my last video. A lot of personal stuff that I don't really feel like getting into right now because it's private and long-winded and probably really boring. But I've been going through a lot of changes as of late, and I'm trying to adjust to those things. But I am also trying to do shifting things, and I actually have a really big project coming up. Probably the next video on this channel after this one, which I'm probably gonna film right now. So if you see me in this shirt in the next video and it looks exactly the same, that's because I'm probably going to be pre-filming tonight. And I've been working on this project for a while, and I'm super excited to tell you guys about it. So keep an eye out for my next video. If you guys want to hear about what that is, then turn on my post notifications, make sure you're subscribed, and even keep an eye out for my other social media, which is linked below. Today's video is not going to be super long. It's kind of, I guess you could kind of consider it an advice video for you guys, but also just kind of me talking to you and talking about a misconception that I have recently learned is a misconception to do with shifting. There is a lot of misconceptions about reality shifting that I have seen on the internet, mostly thanks to rumors and BS knowledge being spread around TikTok like wildfire. I actually have a video that should be coming up soon where I actually talk to you guys about misconceptions I have heard and debunked on the internet that has to do with reality shifting. And this one is going to get added to the list. And I actually found out about this misconception because it happened to me, and I have apparently been believing it for the entire time I've been trying to shift, which is since September. As of right now when filming this video, it's been about 9.5 months since I have started attempting to shift. And a common misconception, apparently, that I have been believing, and apparently a lot of other people, especially on Shift Talk, I don't know about the amino groups, but on Shift Talk have apparently been believing, is that if you switch realities that you're trying to go to, or you switch scripts, or you make adjustments, or here, that, or there, whatever, that you are starting your shifting progress over again. Now, I think this for a multitude of reasons. Number one being that somebody that I knew told me that. Somebody who was in the shifting community on TikTok told me that if you switched between scripts, whether it was every attempt or, you know, every few weeks or a few months or whatever, that your shifting progress started over again, and you basically started at square one. And then around the same time, I saw several people on TikTok and even 1 or 2 people on Amino talking about how you had to stick with the same reality and the same script and focus on just that one. Because if you suddenly changed your mind and you tried to go somewhere else when you've been working on X script or X reality for several months, that you basically started back at square one and all of your progress went away. Kind of like if you try to finish a video game, but every time you turn on your system, you hit new game instead of continue. And so I was under the impression that if I tried to go to a different DR than the one that I've been trying to go to, that 9.5 months of progress would just disappear like that. And I was really scared of that, especially since I have ADHD, so I have a lot of problems with hyperfixation and focus as it is. And it wasn't a problem for a while because Harry Potter and a specific comfort character from that universe was kind of my obsession at the time. But in recent months, my hyperfixation has moved as it tends to do, and I'm not really hyperfixating on Harry Potter anymore. And I'm not really hyperfixating on that character anymore. I still love that character so much. For those of you wondering, and those of you who don't follow my TikTok or anything, it's Remus Lupin. Remus Lupin is my Harry Potter comfort character. I have a lot of characters that I love from there. Like my other Harry Potter comfort character is probably like Severus Snape. I know, not very comforting, but I love Alan Rickman. And I kind of attached myself to Remus to the point that my cousin got me a sweater that looks like the sweater that he wears throughout the entirety of Prisoner of Azkaban, and got me one of those letters off of Etsy that is supposed to be written from your comfort character to you and personalized to you, and got me a drawing that somebody did of Remus Lupin, and even got me a perfume that is supposed to like smell like him. And I'm even the crazy person that I went and I bought like candles that smell like Remus Lupin and Severus Snape. And I was very, very obsessed, and that's all I was doing, was drowning myself in like the Harry Potter side of TikTok and making Harry Potter content, and that was where I wanted to go. And originally I had created 2 scripts at the beginning of my shifting journey. In one of them, I was supposed to be a Muggle Studies professor, and I was supposed to be 33 years old, and I was supposed to have a history with the Marauders, and I was supposed to start that DR in 1993 at the very beginning of Harry's 3rd year during Prisoner of Azkaban, and my love interest was supposed to be Remus Lupin. And then I had another script where I'm my same age that I am in my CR, and the year is 1990. So it's the year before Harry was supposed to get to school, and I am the new Defense Against the Dark Arts professor, and I have no prior history with anybody at Hogwarts, and my love interest was supposed to be Severus Snape. And in each set of DRs, I had like mostly the same appearance, but like I had different tattoos, and I had different sets of friends, and my rooms were set up different. I had different pets, stuff like that, to really differentiate everything, even though I had similar things where I'm like dating a professor and working at the school. And I had different DRs, you know, for other places I wanted to be in that, like a Marauders era DR, or one where it's like an aged up university version of Hogwarts, but like Golden Trio type characters going to school with kind of thing, or like being with other characters, whatever. But I had written down those 2 specifically at the very beginning of my journey, and I kept having trouble because of my hyperfixation, because even though I was more focused on the one with Remus, I was very, very obsessed with Snape and Alan Rickman at the time. So I was having trouble picking between the 2. And then someone personally told me that I had to pick between those 2 because I had to focus on just one of them. And then I saw several people online that were saying very similar things. And I had the hardest time focusing. And I almost feel like it made it harder for me to shift when I was put into a box. For me, the beauty of shifting is that it's about what we want to do and what we feel comfortable with, because it's our power, because we are pieces of the universe living as a human for a while. And it is about our journey and where we want to go and our desired reality. And it was really hard for someone like me who has fixation problems to be like, okay, you have to stay in a box, you have to only go to this one place, or you will start over again and again and again. And it got really frustrating, and I think it really created a block for me. And I think it made it a lot harder for me to shift, because it suddenly felt restricted in a weird way. And even though every few months I was making progress, I still felt like there was a block that I couldn't really get around. And I couldn't wrap my head around what it was. And I thought maybe, oh, it's because I'm afraid of shifting, either because I'm afraid of what's going to happen to me there, or I'm afraid of failing, or I'm afraid of success. Because being afraid of success is real, because you don't know what you're gonna do when you achieve your goals and do things you want to do, because you're like, okay, what now? It was just a dream. What do I do now that this is real and I'm not just hoping for the thing? And then to a certain degree, I thought maybe it was because I was having trouble detaching from my current reality, or I was having trouble with the final push, or I was having trouble with focus, or I was having trouble with stress, or this, that, or the other thing. And I thought maybe it was all of it or none of it, and I didn't know what I was supposed to be doing. And then as of the last couple of months, my hyperfixation has moved on to the MCU and to Loki, because I'm a trash can with a very specific kind of comfort character who is usually very tortured and misunderstood. I'm also one of those lesbians that people talk about a lot on TikTok, that I am only attracted to fictional men, and the second a real man gets anywhere near me, I'm like, so yeah, I think I'm really only attracted to men when it is through the female gaze, i.e. the fact that a woman was responsible for everything that was happening in the Loki TV show was a godsend, and everyone needs to say thank you. But that is besides the point. But I once again developed a deep personal connection to a comfort character who was a misunderstood man in a fictional universe. And I had trouble thinking about my DR that I had already scripted and been trying to get to. And as anybody else who has ADHD who hyperfixates really bad, you can attest to the fact that you can try to push that hyperfixation away all you want, it's not gonna go away. I've done it with so many things throughout my life. I've done it with actors, I've done it with characters, I've done it with TV shows, I've done it with movies, I've done it with musical instruments, I've done it with my record player, I did it with my Xbox. I've done it with anime, I have done it with my spiritual practices. I've done it with body modification, I've done it with certain brands or certain things that I would collect or certain hobbies that I would suddenly have. I've done it with fan fiction, I've done it with books. Anyone who hyperfixates really bad and has done so for as long as I have knows that no matter how much you push it away and how hard you try not to think about it, it will not go away. And it especially made it worse because on TikTok, my For You page became all Marvel stuff. And it became even more impossible to shove it all away because it was everywhere and my brain had clutched onto it. And then suddenly every attempt that I made at shifting to Hogwarts, I couldn't focus, and my brain would get mad at me because I was thinking about other people and other places. And I love Hogwarts, don't get me wrong. I have loved Harry Potter all my life. I mean, you can't see it, but there's like a Hogwarts poster right there. That, oh my god, that right there is a Bellatrix Lestrange pop doll. Those are pop dolls of Harry Potter characters. All of the movies are sitting right here next to me. There's a picture over there, a Harry Potter calendar over there. There are 2 more Harry Potter pop dolls right here. I just said that I have a sweater that is supposed to be a fictional characters and a letter that is written by that person. I am very deeply obsessed with Harry Potter still. But the MCU seems to be taking over my life now. And I just kind of got to a point that I realized I don't think I'm going to be able to shift to Hogwarts this way. And I want to, and I know that I will. And it is the DR that I've memorized and the one that I've attached to the most, and it's the fictional universe that I know the most about. But really, it's gotten really difficult for me, I guess, is the best way that I can describe it, because when I'm forcing myself to try to go somewhere that my brain isn't focusing on and doesn't feel as excited about, it takes the fun out of shifting and it makes it hard to focus, and then my brain's like, well, we're not going to go anywhere now. And so I put up a video on my TikTok and I put up some posts on some amino groups that I'm a part of that have to do with reality shifting. And I asked a lot of people advice, and I found out that apparently that thing that I believed was fake. That it was a misconception that had been roaming around the internet for months. And that people were constantly trying to get other people to believe that if you switched DRs or tried to change scripts or go somewhere else or do something different, that you were starting your progress all over again and you were losing everything you've been doing for months. And it turns out the progress is on you, not your DR. It's on your spiritual abilities, not on where you're going. So it's not about starting the video game over and over and over again. It's about your skills as a gamer playing the game better and better, even if you're starting it over. Your personal progress as a gamer is not changing, even if the game is changing or where you're starting the game is changing. Your skills as a shifter and your skills as a part of the universe that is tapping into your conscious mind and moving it around to different realities, that doesn't change. You are still as powerful as you were before on your last script. You are still as up to date with your own skills and as knowledgeable as you were before. It doesn't start over. And I felt so stupid for not realizing that, because I was completely convinced that it started over because I heard it from so many people. But also, how many people have said that the world is flat? But I know that it's right. Like, I don't know. I'm not going to start on the flat earth thing. My point is, I felt really stupid, and I know that I'm not stupid, and that a lot of other people believed that misconception. And maybe some of you who are watching now are learning about this misconception as I'm telling you. Or maybe you'll learn about it when I post my video about common misconceptions that have a bunch of other misconceptions on it, by the way, that I believed at some point, or that other people believed. Some of them are really silly, some of them are really believable, but I will get that video out soon. And so I kind of took time to think about it on my own and be like, is this what I want? Because even though it doesn't sound like that big of a deal, those of us that take shifting really seriously know that the location and where we're going and the people we're going to go see are important. And I think a big part of why I wanted to do Hogwarts first is because it's a universe that's been a big part of my life for pretty much my whole life. And these characters have always been a really, really big part of me. And I've always been in some depth of the fandom, and it's always been really important to me. I didn't start watching Marvel movies until like 2 years ago. I mean, I think that I saw the first Iron Man movie when it came out, but I didn't remember anything about it. And I think I saw the first Guardians of the Galaxy when it came out, but I again remembered nothing about it. So I didn't actually properly sit down and start watching the Marvel movies until like February of 2019. So when I started shifting, it was a place that was pretty low on the list for me. Even though I loved it and I wanted to go and I had characters I wanted to see and stuff I wanted to do, it was just on the list behind Hogwarts, just like a lot of other places, like animes that I wanted to go to, or, you know, the Lord of the Rings Hobbit universe, or Pirates of the Caribbean, or, you know, Supernatural, like a bunch of other places that I want to go that were not as high on the list as Harry Potter. But now I've gotten so invested in it that suddenly it's a thing. Like, I'm rewatching the movies and I'm obsessed with it all over social media, and suddenly I wanted to engulf myself in it. So I took the night to sleep on it and really think about it and asked the advice of a lot of other people, and I asked some advice, you know, from some personal friends of mine as well as other people on the internet. And I've really come to the conclusion that even though I really want to see my comfort characters from Harry Potter, and I really want to go to Hogwarts, and I want to ride a broom and do magic and use a wand and be a professor and all of that cool shit, it's not where my hyperfixation is right now, and trying to force myself to do it is just going to ruin the shifting experience, and then I won't be able to shift. And I don't want to have that kind of journey. I want to shift. I am going to shift. I have the ability. I just have to work with my brain about it. So even though I've been working on it for 9.5 months, I'm tabling my Harry Potter script for right now. I'm still gonna go, and something tells me out of all the places that I'm going to shift, which is a lot of places, I feel like I'm going to be the most emotional going to that one, because Remus was a very, very heavy comfort character for a very long time, and still is, but it was very different with him. He was very, very intense of a comfort character for a longer period of time than a lot of my other comfort characters, and Harry Potter is a universe that's meant a lot to me for literally my entire life, and so I feel like I will be the most emotional going to that one, but I don't think it's the first one I'm going to be going to, because my hyperfixation says otherwise. So for right now, all of the progress that I have been making on my Harry Potter script is going to be put on pause, and I will be working on going to an MCU desired reality. I don't know what I'm going to be doing yet. I really don't know. I'm going to have to start from scratch. It's part of the reason that I'm rewatching the movies now, because I'm going to try to get some inspiration and, you know, brush back up on the stories of the films and stuff. I don't know what I'm going to do other than the fact that my ass is going to end up with Loki because I'm a trash can and that's just what I want to do. But I don't know what else I'm going to do. I don't know if I'm going to be related to anybody, or who my friends are going to be, or what abilities I'm going to have, or how old I'm going to be, or when I come in, or what's going on. But I think that's part of the fun, is scripting it all out and deciding what adventures I want to have and what I want to do and who I want to be. So I don't really know what I'm doing right now. I'm still going to be making a lot of shifting content, but I think because you're supposed to take breaks in between shifting attempts, like a couple days or whatever, I think I'm going to be giving myself like a week or two to completely take some time off from actual shifting attempts and focus on rewatching the movies and working my script and working on my upcoming project, which is shifting related, and it's also not shifting related. It has to do with shifting, but it also has nothing to do with shifting. So basically, keep an eye out for my next video to figure out what I'm talking about. And for any of you that are having this same problem with maybe wanting to switch scripts or realities, and maybe someone or something has told you that that's going to halt your progress, the point of making this video, basically, besides just me saying, hey, guess what I'm doing, is also because I wanted you guys to know you don't have to stick to just one thing. You're allowed to switch. You're allowed to hyperfixate on other things. You're allowed to want to go somewhere else more than the place that you started with. If I can do it, so can you. I think it's a good thing. If this reality is calling to me more than the other one, maybe that's a sign, and I want to follow it because I don't want to halt myself any more than has already been happening. So I'm going to be working on a new script and trying to go to a different DR than I've been trying to go to for the last 9 months. And if you want to keep up with how that's going, please do follow me on my other social media. And I'm plugging it because it's the end of the video. Please follow my other social media if you are interested. My TikTok is what I'm on the most, and where you will get all of the shifting updates and all of my YouTube video updates, and actually the upcoming project that I have coming up will probably be released on TikTok and on Instagram before it's released here, because YouTube videos take 900 years to load. So please follow my TikTok and my Instagram and my Twitter that are all linked in the description below. If you are not already subscribed, please click the subscribe button, join the family. It would mean a lot to me. If you would like to be notified of all future videos, including the one that is about my upcoming secret project that does and does not have to do with shifting, that will be the next video I post on this channel, please hit the notification bell beside the subscription bar. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, leave a like, comment on this and let me know if you've had this problem before, or if you've heard this misconception, if you've switched scripts, or if hearing about this somehow helped, or if you just have something that you want to say to me. Let me know. put it in the the comments below. It's so late. I'm so tired. Please put it in the comments below. I'm very excited to see how you guys respond to this video, and I'm very excited to film the video about my upcoming project here in a second when I turn this camera off and then turn it back on. I miss you guys so much, and I'm hoping to start uploading more frequently now that I've hopefully gotten this entire technology situation figured out. If not, I'm gonna start crying like a baby. Okay, so I will see you guys later. Happy shifting.